Happy Shabbat, brothers and sisters. I had a couple things in my head today I want to talk about, but before we even talk about those, let's talk about the Sabbath day. So, first of all, if you're in an organized religion, the organized religion means that it's an organization. That means men put it together. So, if you're looking for men to teach you or to show you, then that's where we begin wrong right out the gate. Yahushua said that he would send the Holy Spirit, and Holy Spirit would be a teacher, and say you will no longer need anyone to teach you, for he will teach you concerning all things. But yet we get involved in religions, and organized religions means that it's an organization, and every organization has a head of the organization. And if Yahushua, Jesus, is not the head of the organization, then the organization is incorrect. So, if your organization is keeping you from observing things that we're supposed to observe, then you need to ask yourself this. At what point and what time were we told that we didn't have to respect the Sabbath? At what point did and school me? Because there is no point where we were ever told that we didn't have to rest. Actually, it tells us that if we don't rest, that's a problem, and that we won't enter into his rest. And just as he rested, we're supposed to rest as well. Yahushua also said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. So one of the commandments is remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. So there's just no way out of it. So there's the reason I'm talking about that is there's so much controversy over the Sabbath, and so many people that believe in the Father don't say anything about the Sabbath. Now you have two kinds. You have a group of people that don't celebrate anything from the Bible, but they celebrate all of these things thrown in by the Council of Nicaea, thrown in all these pagan holidays that we celebrate that think they have some type of meaning to them. And we say, oh, well, I do it for my family because, it's the love, it's the time with the family. But you know what? It is. But you know what else is happening? What's happening is you're giving love and admiration to a fake deity. So, for example, if you celebrate Halloween, then you're celebrating death, you're celebrating the dead, and you're celebrating demonic entities and spirits like the kind you dress your children up as. Witches. Christmas, which has absolutely nothing to do with Yahushua, we're celebrating. If you look up what Christmas really is and do some research on it, you realize what you're celebrating, who you're admiring. So when it comes to the Shabbat, the things that were given us, we've moved away from, because people believe that once you're saved or once you've been baptized, then you no longer have to follow these rules. Now, granted, man cannot be saved by the law. By the law, we all fail, because once you commit one, you might as well commit them all. You're a sinner. I'm a sinner. That's just how it is. Every day we fight sin. The flesh is what we fight. We fight the spirit, fights the flesh daily, no doubt. But at what point in time are we supposed to not do these things? But yet we can celebrate everything else, but things that are in the Bible. So here is the irony. So if you say, well, we don't have to keep those laws anymore, then hold on. How you doing?
You have somebody from Boston?
Yes.
I just checked, and they said they were leaving Saco, so that tells us how far.
Oh, thank you very much. All right. God bless. So sorry about that. In the middle of doing a video, someone came over to tell me something. So when it comes to things of the Bible, we don't do them, but we hold dear to Christmas and all these other holidays. So we go out and we spend all this money on all of these holidays, all year. Christmas, we spend thousands. You know, Valentine, we spend maybe hundreds. Easter, maybe 800. If you're one of those people that buy new clothes, hundreds. And whatever, Valentine, whatever holiday you can think of, Thanksgiving, whatever it is, we spend all of this money. And we put all this time and effort into them. And when we put all the time and effort into them, it's like honor and admiration. But yet, the 5 holidays in the Bible, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, Day of Unleavened Bread, the new moons, Shabbat, all of these things, we don't put any time into them. So when we don't put any time into them, we give time to the other things. So you're saying that work, we don't get into heaven by works. We don't get into heaven by works. We get into heaven by faith. But yet you do work for all these other holidays. All these other holidays, you spend time taking a tree and putting a tree in your house, which the Bible tells you not to do. You put the tree in your house. I think it's Jeremiah chapter 10. Tells you not to chop down a tree and fasten it in your house and decorate it with gold and silver and all that. So, they do that. And all the time we spend wrapping these presents, and it's a commodity thing. It's money. It's transfer of buying and goods, but we spend all of this time doing it, and it's a huge deal. But yet when it comes to the things of the Bible, we say we're saved by faith and by grace. So we don't have to keep those. We don't have to do that. Okay, you don't have to do those. You don't have to celebrate Shabbat. You don't have to, celebrate Yom Kippur. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Okay, fine. But you celebrate all these other things every single year. It's like I go back and forth with this with people, especially when you walk into the church and you see Easter eggs. Bunnies don't lay eggs. I don't know where that comes from, but if you look it up, it's from Tammuz. It's the fertility god, and these were gods that were celebrated by the pagans, and the hiding of the eggs is supposed to be underground, and that's the birth. The egg represents fertility, and that was the fertility goddess, and the god was Tammuz, and Ishtar was the goddess, and these are things that are pagan, and all the roots are there, all the evidence is there, but yet we continue to just do it. So it's not a big deal to you, but it's a big deal if you stand outside and look at the fact that the things of Yah are being put aside, but the pagan things, the fake deities, are not. They're being held up. So you don't have to follow the commandments because you're saved by grace, but yet you follow all the pagan holidays, which have absolutely nothing to do with us, which actually takes time away from our Father and praise other gods. Now, the second commandment, I believe, is there shall have no other gods before me. So, if you shall have no other gods before me, why would you be serving another god 4-5 times a year and putting all of this love and time into this other god, but not the G-O-D, the Father? So you got to think about that. If the Father says, thou shalt have no other gods before me, you're not doing or not observing the holidays he gave us, but you're observing holidays the pagans gave us, then you're observing pagan gods and not observing Yahuwah. So you are putting some fake gods, little g's, in front of Yah, the big G. You got to think about these things. But we just overlook it because we're not willing to give up anything. We're not willing to give up. Controversy 7 said it the best. I was listening to the brother today, and he said that coming out of Babylon might not just mean physically walking out of this country or another country. Coming out of Babylon could be coming out of her ways. So we need to come out of Babylonian ways. We need to come out of them. We need to come out of her buying, selling, and celebrating, and listening to Babylonian doctors and not listening to Yahushua, who is our doctor, who is our great physician. We don't listen to him, but yet we listen to Fauci and all of these people and tell you that you need something that you don't. So we've we've taken on everything that Babylon has to give us and has to offer, and we've called it good. Yet we're not listening to anything from the Bible, the book of instructions that we have on how to survive and how to live. So we've taken Babylon on 100%. So if you really look at what I'm saying, I'm trying to explain to you how we should be following Yah, because if we're following Yah the right way, then we're not observing pagan holidays. You understand? So there's those people that do that. They observe all the pagan things, but not Yah. And then there's those people who don't observe anything, any holidays, but yet they'll go in the day after and buy all the stuff because it's cheap. You're still serving that God by going buying things with those labels on them, those Halloween labels, Valentine label, Christmas labels. You still observing. And those who don't, they don't observe anything that's pagan, but they don't observe anything of Yah's either. So you still not following Yah. I just want to tell you, there's no reason that all of us who believe in Yah are not taking the day of Shabbat for rest with our families and relaxing. Can't take one day out of the week to do what the Father told you. And yeah, we got a different calendar. We don't really know what the day is and all that. Everyone knows that, but we use that as an excuse not to celebrate the Shabbat. Pick a day. Pick a day. And I guarantee you that Yahuwah will accept your Shabbat because he sees that you are putting forth an effort. So, with this, Shabbat Shalom, and stop letting people tell you you don't have to celebrate the Sabbath, because you do. Y'all bless. Keep your head up. Plenty much love. Shabbat Shalom.